Hello everyone, Osafo Singh here and you are welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to focus on the manager's role in managing user accounts. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I have downloaded and installed Moodle locally on my computer. That's why the address is the local host. So that's what I'll be using for this tutorial. So let's just get started. To manage user accounts, we have to go to Site Administration. We can find it in the option here. Select Site Administration, and then in the options we are going to select users. Now the user options gives us two. We have account and permissions. The account is for setting up user accounts and the permissions is for giving different permissions and roles to users. So let me select account. The first option we have here is a browse list of users. So when you click on browse list of users, it's going to give you a list of all the users who have accounts on this site. So I am the only one having an account here. So let's quickly add a new user. To do that, we just click on add new user. And when we click on add new user, it's going to give us a form that we are going to fill. So I'm going to fill this form for the new user. Type in the password. Give the user's first name, going to be Williams. And the surname, I'm going to stick with Max. And then we have the email address. Then we have the city or town. I'm going to use Winneba. And then the country is going to be Ghana. Okay, so we have other options here. User picture, for example. We want to add a profile picture to this user. We just click on user picture. And what we are going to do is that we are going to drag and drop the profile picture for this user here. So let's just quickly do that. So I go to my pictures. And for example, let's say I'm going to use this picture for the profile. So I just click and drag the picture here and wait a while, and that is going to be the profile picture for this user. So we just click on create user and then wait a while for the user to be created. So after loading, I'm going to have a new user added. Okay, so here we are. I have William Max over here, and he's the new user that I've just added. Now adding users this way is very tedious. For example, if you have about thousands of students that you want to give account to on this Moodle site, it becomes very tedious doing them one by one. So what we are going to do is that we are going to learn how to upload a list of users. And to do that, in the user account options, we can find upload users over here. So what I'm going to do is going to try to upload a list of users that I have created in Excel. Let's select upload users. Now when you click on upload users, we are going to have an option to drag and drop a file in the CSV format. The CSV stands for comma separated values. So whatever we are going to, the file that we are going to drop here will be in a comma separated value format. So let me click on a list of users that I have created in Excel. So this is a list of users that I have created in Excel. Now we have this values here. We have surname, password, first name, last name, email address. Remember that all these values are also fields in the profile that we are going to fill for these users. So I have a list of them here that I'm going to add. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are going to save this file as a CSV format. So I click on File, Save As, and then the format is going to be in the CSV format, that is the comma delimited. So when we select the CSV format, then the file name I'm going to use users, and then I'm saving it in my picture so that I can pick it from there. So when this option comes, just select yes. So I've successfully saved this list of users. So we have the usernames, the passwords, everything in here, the email address in the CSV format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to my pictures and I'm going to locate that file musers. This is the file musers, and I'm just going to drag and drop the file here. So when I drag and drop the file here, have the musers file in the .csv format. So I just click on upload users. So what it's going to do is that it's going to upload the list of the users that I have added. So you see that I have all these users over here that I'm going to add to the Moodle site. So what I'm going to do is just enter this option. The city, town or town is going to be Winneba, and I just click on upload users. So wait a while, and then I'll be able to upload all this number of users into my Moodle account. So I have all these users that I want to upload. So it is going to create 32 users, and it's going to skip 6 because of the problem with the first names. So what I'm going to do is just click on continue, wait a while, and here we have it. So I've added 32 users to the Moodle through this method. So let's click on browse list of users. When I click on browse list of users, these are the users that I have added. It's very easy to add users this way, unlike adding it manually, which is very tedious. Okay, so let's look at some options in the account. We have bulk user action. Bulk user action is used to edit a number of users in a similar way. For example, if I want to send a message to 5 users in this account, I can just hold Control, select these 5 users, and then add to selection. So when I click on add to selection, it will send the users in here, and I can do a whole lot of action that will affect these users. For example, I can choose to send a message to all these users, or I can choose to delete all these users. So that is the bulk user action. Then I've talked about add new user. We have user profile fields. Now the user profile fields, by default we have some fields that you have to fill for the user, but we can also add new user field for the user profile. So I'm just going to skip this and talk about one important thing called cohort. The cohort is very important because sometimes within the same year group there are some specific group of people that you want them to interact, or that you want them to communicate with each other. For example, in this university, the first year students, even though they are all first years, we have a group of courses like ICT, mathematics, and languages and so forth. So first of all, we can create cohorts for this group of people so that they can interact with each other. So I'm just going to add a cohort here. Click on add cohort, and the first cohort I'm going to call it ICT, and the ID I'm going to use 01 for it, and the description is all ICT students, and I'm just going to save changes. And then I'm going to create another cohort for math students, for example. So add another cohort. I'm going to create another cohort. Let's call it math, and then the ID is going to be 02. The description is going to be all math students. Then I just click on save changes. So all the users that I have, I can group them under this cohort, and to do that I just click on this button over here, which is going to allow me to add users to this cohort. So I'm going to add a list of users to this cohort. So let's assume this student, that they are all ICT students. So I can just click add, and then I'll add them to the ICT student cohort. So here we have it. I have 6 students here, and I can go back to cohort. I can also add a list of students to the math cohort. So what I do is I click on this option here, and then go to the cohort option, and I can select a list of students that I want to add to the math cohort. For example, I click on add, and it's going to add this student to the cohort, and I can just go back to the cohort option. This is very important because we want students with similar backgrounds to interact with each other. So that is why it's very important to create this cohort. And still back at the user option, we have upload users and also upload user pictures. I've talked about upload users. User pictures are used to give profile pictures to a number of users. So what happens is that you create a zip file, and then the user attribute to use. You can create a zip file, and the pictures are going to be based on their user needs, so that when you upload that zip file here, Moodle is going to sort those pictures to the particular user needs. So that is one way that you can also upload pictures or profile pictures for your users. Okay, so thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. The next one is going to focus on permissions. See you